people wanna talk that talk in reality. You have not seen me in action. You think the come up comes overnight. You ain't behind the scenes, trust me, these things don't just happen. No shade to Gerald, but G's don't come easy when you tryna eat out producing and rapping. I read that contract you sent me to sign, but excuse me, I can't help myself, I'm just laughing. Hey, you tryna cut out a piece of my pie, and I asked you politely, what's it that you offer me? Yeah, I produce all my own beats, and I have no intention of losing my publisher. Yeah, independent individual, boy, I've been eating off passive residuals. Yeah, let's be professional. Thanks for your time, but I had to decline at that principle. I've been scheming up a plan, hey. I've been saving all I can, hey. You could call me David Ramsey. The way I handle these bands, hey. We ain't messing with the old model. New era, new kid, we full throttle. Just know that the come up is not a fluke. My amigos, they focus, know what to do. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it.
Yo, look, I ain't saying that I'm rich, cause if I'm honest, I've never been. But when I look at all these other kids, I feel just a little bit ahead of them. You should know the business is competitive. There's a lot of people that I'm better than. Even veterans ain't got the knowledge I do. I've been reinvesting all I ever spent. Stop pretending like you poppin'. Who been out here making profit? Told my mama that I got this. I wonder if she noticed what my job is. I don't know how I'ma make it, but I know no matter what, I'm finna find a way. All my homies finna eat and I ain't letting no one on my team look at an empty plate. Yeah. Went from a boy to a man, ayy. Every day been making plans, ayy. They don't really understand, ayy. Gotta look out for the family. I won't fall for any scam, yeah. Only worry about the fans, yeah. I won't compromise the brand, yeah. I've been saving up the bands, whoa. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it. Rappers spending money in some really funny ways, man.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Keep Standing Up and Give Back, a conversation about giving back and making a difference in the skate community, hosted by Zoomies and Skate Like a Girl. I'm Lindsay Schaefer, a Zoomies district manager, coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia.
And I'm Ruben Gongora, a Zoomies store manager, coming to you live from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We're excited to introduce you all to some rad organizations that are making an impact in the skate community. Today, you're going to hear from several members of the Skate Like a Girl team, including Kristen Ebeling, Skate Like a Girl's executive director, Kim Woozy, their Bay Area director, Alexa Berry-Ochoa, a lead program staff and Up to Us coach, and Seema Savafi Bayat, a lead program staff and Up to Us coach.
We're also going to hear from pro skater and founder of Skate After School, Ryan Lay, and Rosie Archie, the founder of Nation Skate Youth.
Lindsay, before we start hearing from our guests today, I want to give our audience a chance to get to know you a little bit, because I think your story is so inspiring. 2020 has been a challenging and crazy year for all of us, but you specifically have gone through so much this year. Can you tell us what this year's been like for you?
Yeah, so this year for me has been life-changing. In February, right before COVID, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer that spread to my bones. I had two options: let the cancer win and accept my 6 months to live, or I could fight. Obviously, I chose to fight. Something that I learned this year that I preach on all of my platforms is don't waste time not being you, because you don't know how much time you have. Growing up, I was the only girl at the skate park, and it was extremely hard. I say this because you should never feel that way. Always be you and live your dreams.
Wow, that's super powerful. Well, as you guys know, stand-up has been focused on channeling the power of our voices through our votes for the past year. And of course, there are a couple big Senate elections coming up in Georgia in the next 2 months. But no matter who gets elected, the issues we care about still need to be advocated for. Lindsay, what are you going to keep standing up for?
Honestly, there are so many topics that I stand up for. So my focus right now is on equality, LGBTQIA community, and supporting Black Lives Matter. I also want to get as many people out to vote for Senate as possible, and you guys can too.
That's awesome, Lindsay. So before we dive in with everybody, and we actually have a couple quick announcements. First, we're just getting into the holidays, which means Giving Tuesday is coming up really quick. It's on December 1st, and it's a great day to support the cause or nonprofit that has your heart. Don't have the money to give? That's totally okay. Tell all your family and friends to give.
Also, most of the time, nonprofits need volunteers. Reach out and see how you can get involved to give back and make a difference. So we want to hear your questions for the crew. Drop your questions for Kristen, Kim, Alexa, Seema, Ryan, and Rosie in the Twitch chat. We'll pick our favorite to ask during the group Q&A session at the end of the stream. If your question gets picked, you will win a Skate Like a Girl face mask, 50,000 Zoomies stash points, and a $50 Zoomies gift card. So don't go anywhere and drop your questions in the chat. Now let's learn a little bit more about Skate Like a Girl. Hit the video.
Skate Like a Girl provided a place for me to reclaim something that meant a lot to me in my childhood. It was the thing I was most passionate about when I was a teenager. I stopped skating because I didn't really think there was space left in it for me as a trans person. Skate Like a Girl has provided that space and created a sense of inclusion in skateboarding that I've never really had. When you walk into a space that's owned by ours, you'll see immediately that people are looking out for each other and people are making space for beginners, and it's not shunning people from trying new things, which I think is the most fearful part of showing up at a space designed for skateboarding. So what does it look like inserting yourself into a space like that and like we create a welcoming environment for that to be possible for those people?
My name is Kristen Ebeling. I'm the Executive Director of Skate Like a Girl. Skate Like a Girl is a community-based organization that's focused on creating more accessibility in skateboarding. What we try to do is take an approach of like who's not really showing up, who doesn't really have space, and talk to those communities and get their feedback and find ways to create space for them in skateboarding so they can enjoy it just as much as we do.
To me, Skate Like a Girl means community. It's also been everything that I've needed it to be at every point in my life.
Seeing other people who are like me doing sick stuff, so I'm like, yo, I want to do that too.
My favorite thing about Skate Like a Girl is the events that we host and just having people come up and like the stoke on their face when they land a trick for the first time.
Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Kim Woozy, she, her pronouns, and I am one of the directors at Skate Like a Girl in the Bay Area in California. And I'm here with Alexa. Alexa, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Alexa. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a Vista for the Seattle chapter of Skate Like a Girl.
Awesome. So we just watched a rad video about Skate Like a Girl, the organization, featuring you, which is awesome. I'm curious, can you tell us a little bit about what's the difference for you skating kind of solo and now skating with a community, you know, that you found through Skate Like a Girl?
Yeah, I think it's been a big change for me just being able to like surround myself with like-minded individuals. It's really just kind of reinvigorated my love for skateboarding, and just knowing that the people around me are like here to support me and I'm here to support them, and just feeling like on the outside of skateboarding traditionally, sometimes it's nice to like have that community and be able to build off each other.
Yeah, and I think I love your story because you talked about this in the video a little bit, but you'd skated when you were younger and then sort of felt like there wasn't a place for you. And now you're not only, you have a place, a home, a community, but now you're, leading and creating that community for others. I'm curious, can you share with us a little bit about what you see the impact is that you're making in your role at Skate Like a Girl?
Definitely. I think like pre-COVID, we had a lot of in-person meetups and things that we were doing that were really fantastic for building that community and making people feel included in skateboarding. And obviously that's been hindered since COVID, but now we've kind of replaced that with more of some virtual programming to be able to allow for those same connections to be made, and to allow people to still know that like there's a community here for you in skateboarding, even if like you're on the outside of what's considered traditional skateboarding. And we also do things like gear distribution to like different organizations and different places for uh, youth that might not have the opportunity to otherwise ride a skateboard. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of good impact that Skate Like a Girl as a whole, and that like work that I get to participate is doing.
Yeah, definitely. So can you tell us a little bit more about those outreach programs? So I know recently, so I'm in the Bay, we have the chapter, in the Bay Area in Seattle and Portland, you're in Seattle. I heard there was a pretty awesome curb sesh that went down recently. Can you just tell us about like, I think that's one of my favorite things about working for Skate Like a Girl is, we work really hard, we get tired, but we go out and do a program and our battery just gets charged fully because the stoke of someone's first time, or even in this case, like maybe getting a board that they get to take home and it's their first skateboard. Like, can you tell everyone what that's like and just, share some of the love?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the kids show up interested in skateboarding, and they're excited about the idea of having like something to participate in and like having a new skateboard. But a lot of the times you don't get to see what it actually means to them until we start like teaching them how to ride it. A lot of kids will like get their skateboard and they're like, oh, this is cool, I'm excited. But then the moment they get to step on it and see like, I can do this, like this is something that I want to do and I'm seeing myself do it, and it becomes like a reality for them, something that's tangible. You can see it like light up in their eyes, and like they're just so excited about it. And that's something that I really cherished as a child too. So it's like it's great to be able to share that and just be able to relate to kids with through skateboarding. I think it's really great.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's just something about like just being able to give something to someone, whether that's a mini skate lesson or holding your hands out to spot them. I mean, obviously not right now because of, COVID regulations, but just that pure joy that comes when someone receives, a gift or a contribution or a lesson without asking for anything in return. That's like one of my favorite things, and I think it's cool. Like I feel blessed to be able to work with Skate Like a Girl every day because we get to continue paying it forward. And there's nothing that beats that, there's no amount of money or fame or anything like that that can replace that feeling of making a difference for even one person, right? So
Yeah, definitely.
cool. Well, is there any other things you want to share with everyone that's tuned in right now?
Uh, yeah, I guess just like I would say, just if you ever feel like you are on the outside of skateboarding, like try to search within your community of someone who maybe someone that hasn't started skating, like they'll probably be interested if you're like, hey, I want you to come skate with me. Like a community starts with two people. Like you don't have to feel like an individual lost inside your interest or outside of your community. So that's all, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's such great advice. And also, if you haven't yet found that other person and you are starting to skate or you're wanting to skate, definitely check out our YouTube channel. We're getting started on TikTok. Alexa has got some rad videos in the works. She already has some sweet tutorial videos on TikTok, but definitely YouTube and TikTok. to get started and to have an instructor there for you virtually. So thanks everyone for tuning in today. We'll pass it on. See y'all later.
The first time I came here, I didn't know how to skate. Johnny helped me skate a little bit. I've been improving a lot of talent. That's why I love skate after school. I learn more about skateboarding. I keep improving skateboarding. Go skate after school and cow.
Know that if I do a trick and I land it, I know that if I work hard for it, I can do the same thing at school. Like if I can't do this problem or something, I know that I can also work hard for it and, you know, succeed in it. I've also, you know, met some friends and then some helpers. Like every time that I come here, I get so excited. Like even before it even starts, when I'm sleeping, I'm like, I'm ready to come skate after school and learn a new trick.
I thought I would never land kickflips and barrel flips, but I kept on progressing. I actually started landing them to skate after school. Skate after school is all about having fun and making new friends and learning new tricks. You can go on different types of rails, ramps. You can make friends by skating with them, talking with them, showing them new tricks. My favorite part about skateboarding club is the teachers. They help us, like, for we don't get hurt, and they give us compliments. And what I also like is when they give us these stickers because we did something that was right. This sticker is for when we don't give up.
Hey, what's up, everybody out there on the World Wide Web? My name is Kristen. I use she and her pronouns. I'm the executive director at Skate Like a Girl, or at least that's what it says on my business card, but I prefer the title professional teenager. I'm here with my friend, and I'm gonna pass it over to him to introduce himself.
What's up, skaters? It's Ryan. He, him. I am the executive director of Skate After School and a good friend of Kristen's, and I'm stoked to be here.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking time out of your Arizona evening. Super stoked to chit chat. For those folks out there on our Twitch stream right now that don't know about Skate After School, let's pretend you're in an elevator with one of them and you only got 30 seconds to sort of explain what the heck Skate After School is. What do you do? What do you say?
Skate After School is an after-school program and a mentorship program that works with underserved communities in Phoenix, Arizona. We work with about anywhere from 7 to 8 elementary schools and about 250 kids a week. And it's a fully mobile, on-site after-school program. So we bring all the skateboards, all the safety equipment, and the ramps, and we show up once a week with each school. Is the elevator departing?
Yeah, the elevator, I have now gotten off on my floor, but
Okay.
That was great. I want to say that was 30 seconds. Sounds like you've been practicing, so good job. Yeah, so I've had the pleasure of going out to Skate After School and participating, and it's just so much fun just to see the joy like on every kid's face. Like just they're like fired up. Like I swear the kids just like run out of class to like go like try to finagle their elbow pads out of the pile and get their helmets on and start ripping. So yeah, I guess my next question is what led you to your current position at Skate After School? Like, how did you get into that? Because obviously you're a professional skateboarder. So like, how did that happen?
The short answer is injuries, but the long answer is yeah, I spent time traveling and being a professional skater, of which I still continue to do. But I realized that so much of that time it's really self-absorbed being a professional skater. It's all about building your own brand and, you know, selling yourself to companies and, you know, putting out video parts and interviews and whatnot. And I just realized that there was kind of a hole in my life that I wanted to focus on giving back. I did some volunteering here and there, but the opportunity arose when my friend Tim had started this program, basically just collecting used skate equipment and donating it out to the to a local community center. And we kind of started going once a week, and it grew really organically. And here we are 9-10 years later, and we, you know, have a fully fledged nonprofit. So didn't ever start with that intention though. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, I guess just a follow-up question, like what are maybe some of the things that you do for Skate After School? I guess not thinking about in current COVID times, but under normal circumstances, like what are a couple things that you get to do for Skate
Yeah,
After School?
under normal circumstances. So I handle all the administrative stuff. So that's fundraising, managing our budget, working with the board of directors. So there's a bunch of people with you know, experience that are there to mentor me and make sure that, you know, we're on top of things. I do all the video stuff, all the little marketing, and we make edits and do creative projects. So that's all the stuff that I'm working on. And then I'm usually there as a volunteer too, just helping out at the programs. Tim manages the programs for the most part. And we have about anywhere from 10 to 20 volunteers that kind of tap in. And so I'm usually on site at the programs as well, kind of making sure that everything's going smoothly.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm sure, like, I don't know for certain because I can't see it, but I'm sure the chat is blowing up right now with tons of questions for you. So I guess rolling on our next question is like, what type of advice would you have for anyone in our audience or anyone tuning in right now? Let's say there's somebody that wants to give back to their community or start a community project like the one that you've started with Skate After School. Like, I mean, can you give them like 3 little nuggets of advice?
The first one is to reach out to people like me or Kristen. If you have questions, I feel like people are always like, I didn't think that you'd respond. And I'm like, no, if you are serious about starting something, I'll talk to you on the phone for 30 minutes. Like, you know, and I think that most people in our community feel similarly about that. Because again, it's not zero sum. Like, we're trying to grow this whole thing together. And so that would be my first thing. And just, you know, be humble, never be afraid to ask questions to people that maybe know what or know what they're doing, or who have some experience that you're looking for. And the other thing is just, you know, go into it with humility and, you know that you're going to take some falls along the way, just like skateboarding. I know that sounds totally corny, but that's really the honest truth. Is like, you know, when we started Skate After School, I didn't know what a nonprofit was. And the school administrator was like, oh, this is a nonprofit. We're like, what's that? And they're like, oh, explain to us how that worked. You know, we went to we ended up going to a little business school, but you just learn these things over the years, you know, and again, I'm happy to have mentors like Kristen in my life who are there to kind of help me out when I'm struggling a little bit. So yeah, you just gotta surround yourself with like-minded and passionate people that are down to help you out and work through those problems with you.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's like one of the things I think that's like similar, like the skateboarding and nonprofit world, like to relate them again, not to be too corny, but like the 2 things that I'm like hearing is that like mentorship is something that's almost like baked into what we do. All of us that are in the nonprofit world have all had nights where we like cried or been like, this is never going to work, or like, what am I doing? You know, and you have your parents being like, don't you want to go work at like Amazon or some, you know, get into the corporate world. So it can be really hard, right? But like, honestly, totally echoing what Ryan said, like I'm always available. I've definitely gotten on a lot of phone calls with a lot of people wanting to start projects. So we're definitely here for each other. yeah, and the second thing is just like, you're not going to be good at it overnight. There's definitely not a playbook for nonprofits, and there's certainly not a playbook for nonprofits that do stuff around skateboarding and action sports. So you can, what's cool about that is you can kind of make it up. But the scary part is there's not really like a step-by-step instruction manual. So
yeah,
thanks for
I definitely, I would just want to echo what you said earlier about being a professional teenager. I don't know if there's something inherent about skateboarding, but I just never have felt like an adult. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, but I always feel a little bit like I'm floundering, or like I'm kind of I'm playing the role of someone who does something. And so that, I don't know if that ever goes away, but you know, it keeps it fun and loose, but it also, I don't know, can be scary sometimes. And for people in the chat, we work with typically 2nd through 6th grade.
Dope. Cool. Next question is related to our current, I guess, last year of our lives. What are some things that Skate After School has been doing since the outbreak of COVID-19, and how have y'all like pivoted?
Yeah, so like a lot of people, you know, spring break hit us like a hit us like a pan over the head, and we're like, oh, okay, we're not going back to schools. So we took a couple weeks to figure things out, and then we were like, you know what, we can't do programming with the kids because the kids aren't in school anymore, and so we went back to our roots, which was just collecting used skate equipment and refurbishing that stuff. There's been a huge boom in skateboarding in the last 6 months. I think a lot of people, including a lot of older people, just wanting to get back into skating, which has been really rad to see. But for us, we partnered with some of the local shops here and set out donation bins, and we just started building boards. And we put a free application on our website for, you know, parents or guardians of youth 14 and under, and just said, hey, if you want a free skateboard, come down and pick it up. So as of this week, I think we've given about 250 skateboards out to Phoenix youth. So that's pretty much been the bulk of our programming, at least. So pretty stoked.
That's amazing. And y'all have been doing
a lot of new skaters.
Yeah, 250 to be exact. You've done a little bit of stuff with like local mutual aid groups. Do you want to explain like what mutual aid is and like how Skate After School has been involved with that?
Yeah, so we got tapped into Phoenix Mutual Aid, and basically it's just, I mean, basically what mutual aid is like a glorified spreadsheet of resources and goods. And so people can drop off stuff, almost kind of the way that a food bank works, but there's no nonprofit structure there. So people can drop off stuff to our office. We collect clothes and food and, you know, any sort of like basic necessities that people need. And we're just one drop-off location of many. And then Tim, who I work with at Skate After School, he drops that stuff off in Phoenix on Saturdays. And also people can just put in requests for things like, I need a fridge. And so, you know, Tim takes the Skate After School truck, and we drop a fridge off because someone else has a fridge. So it's basically just connecting people with, connecting people who have things they want to get rid of, and the people who need them. So it's great. Yeah. It's been a blessing in the last few months for sure.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, this is just another thing I want to call out about nonprofits is that you probably on Instagram and on the website see like 5% of the work, right? You see a photo, you see a video of a program, but like here Ryan is talking about literally dropping off a fridge to people. Like you would have never seen that. So just remember, like nonprofits are doing a lot of work on the back end.
To be clear, Tim is dropping off the fridge.
Tim is dropping off fridges. Okay.
I can't pick up a fridge.
That's why you also need teamwork at your nonprofit. You need people that are yoked enough to get fridges in the back of trucks to the people who need
them.
Yeah,
there's not much here.
All right, last question, Ryan, and we'll get you off the hot seat here. How can folks support Skate After School?
The best way to support us is by donating used equipment, and or money is always helpful. We have a program called the Buddies program, which is basically $10 a month sustaining donation. And we send out a little pin that looks like this. Glad I had that on my desk right there.
Yeah, but, mine's just out of reach. I was like, no.
Yeah. And so we'll send you that pin and some stickers. But we have gear on our website, you know, all the normal ways you can support nonprofits. But again, if you're like curious about starting your own thing, like hit us up, send us a text message, send me a DM. I respond to all my DMs, email, whatever. And you know, if you live in Phoenix, come volunteer, and if you don't, start something of your own.
Very nice, Ryan. Thank you so much
All
again.
right.
And yeah, it was good catching up. And we're gonna send it to learning about our next org, Nations.
Hold your head up, lift the top of your mind, put your eyes on the earth, lift your heart to your own home planet. What do you see? What is your attitude? Are you here to improve or damn it? Look right now, and you will see we're only here by the skin of our teeth, as it is. So take heart and take care of your link with life and
What up, everyone? I'm Seema. I go by she, her pronouns. I'm here with Skate Like a Girl. I am the Outreach and Fund Development Vista, and I'm going to pass it on to my beautiful guest, Rosie, to introduce himself.
Hi. I'm Rosie. She, her is my pronouns. And I'm one of the founders for Nations Skate Youth. We're located in Vancouver, BC. Thank you for having us. Very excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you, Rosie. The last time I saw you was so long ago, so it's so nice to see you. So I myself am still figuring out Instagram. I know people use hashtags, so I kind of want to bring that into our conversation. So why don't you tell us about Nations Skate Youth in 5 hashtags or less?
Yeah, for sure. These are all near and dear to me. So Indigenous youth matter, big one. Be proud, building community, inspire Indigenous youth. Our voices matter.
Chef's kiss. Love that. Thank you, Rosie. But for real, what's the mission of Nations?
You're welcome. Well, you know, we are new Indigenous-led organization. There's 4 of us that are on our team. So myself, Joe Buffalo, Dustin Henry, and his brother Tristan Henry. It all kind of came together organically. Our mission statement is also something that it came organically. So empowering Indigenous youth to embrace the right to self-determination through the positive impact of skateboarding. So inspiring youth through our stories, encouraging the importance of keeping our culture and our traditions alive, and sharing how skateboarding has got us to where we are today. And, you know, a lot can come from that simple mission statement where it hit a lot of people's hearts that kind of were like me saying, I wish I had this when I was younger. So we can see the importance, the support has been very, like, I don't want to say overwhelming, but it's been very awesome to have people on board with us.
Absolutely. Thank you. We've been hearing the parallels between like nonprofit community building and skateboarding, and it seems like everything, just like how you meet your friends at the skate park or whatever, it's like organic. That word organic I've been hearing a lot, because skateboarding community and just like doing community work in general, like the greatest things come from that organic growth, which is amazing. So you did mention something about how just like tapping into that youth with skateboarding early on really helps. So if you could describe yourself as a teenager, like when you were learning to skate, how was that for you, and how did skateboarding help you out?
Well, I grew up on a reserve in the interior of BC. So I'm on the unceded territory of the Shuswap Nation. Born and raised here. Started skateboarding in 1992. So the skate shops that we would go to would be an hour and a half to 2 hours away. Me as a teenager, you would have found me hitchhiking to these skate parks with my sister. Depending on whichever way the cars went, whichever way the punk show was that weekend. Skateboarding was a huge part of my life and still is a huge part of my life. I just turned 39 and I feel like I'm still one of those, teenagers. And, you know, you would use your skateboard until it was square, until the wheels were small, until the bearings were all burnt, and like a lot of things, they were donated to us or given to us through the skate shops, and it's one of those things where I believe that it does take a whole community to raise a child. Even back then, like everyone at the skate park was so supportive, like, oh, you looks like you need a new board. Like I got an old one, or like passing down wheels to me, and like me not really knowing like just things at the skate park. But like I felt back then, being an Indigenous teenage female, like a woman, like you stood out at the skate park, and I feel like everyone was just so welcoming. So that's something that I try to carry on when I'm at the skate park. I'll introduce myself. I'll say hello, like ask them their name and how long they've been skateboarding, and like be that welcoming face, because honestly, like I know how it feels to be that person that's like, oh, I wish that girl would come and say hi to me, and like or that guy, and that's how you be connected with your community, is just by being that nice person out there that you wish you would have met when you were a teenager.
Absolutely. And admittedly, you were one of the first accounts on Instagram that I followed when I first started skating, and when I first joined Skate Like a Girl about 7-8 years ago. And I saw, like, not like obviously we're different people, but I did see myself in you, because I didn't, like I got started with Kristen. Kristen got me on the board for the first time, but then I really saw someone like you in me, and me in you, and then your energy even on the internet. I was like, yes. And then I got to finally meet you. I was like, whoo, we're real life friends now. So it's like,
oh, that's so awesome.
Social media now and community is so powerful. So I love that.
Yes, we're lucky.
Yeah, super lucky. I'm so blessed. So let's say, what makes you the most proud about the work that Nations is doing?
Well, I know, like anything, getting that trust from that younger generation when you've never met them before, seeing their smiles and building that trust is something that makes me really proud, because we're in the right steps of like sport community, and getting to know the youth. And honestly, I feel like they're making a bigger impact on us and the people who get to go on our Instagram page and watch the videos and see the smiles of their faces. And like, that makes me so proud, because my message too is like, to be proud of who you are and where you come from, is something so small, but like, I want these kids to really honestly be proud of being Indigenous, to be proud of coming from a reserve. And when you get to ask them, how do you say hello in your language? How do you say thank you in your language? And they're able to tell us. And I asked the question of like, do you miss the powwows because of COVID? And all of them were so happy to share with us, like, you know, they do miss it. And just a lot of them at the end of the day, they were like, I can't believe I went over that. They had their own goals, and seeing the confidence building in them, that's what makes me so proud, is like having to be there and holding their hand, and you know, just listening to them, because that goes a long way.
Absolutely. So it just seems like skateboarding is that right vehicle of change and connection, and culture and community.
Mhm.
And like it just goes to show that, and I always like to say this, especially, you know, being in skateboarding and doing a ton of other things, is that none of us are just skateboarders. We are skateboarders, that's a huge part of identity, but we are active members of our community and active members of our culture, and we can again use skateboarding as that vehicle. And that you shouldn't limit yourself to just being like, "Ah, I'm just a skateboarder though," you know. It's like, yeah, and then more. So that's amazing. I love that. In that aspect, how can the community support what Nations is doing? So let's say, yeah, just the community. When I say community, I mean like just the greater skateboarding community, and even people around it who are interested in skateboarding and community work.
Yeah. So, I mean, during this time of COVID, obviously we are not doing a whole lot of lessons or going to communities and doing our workshops. So we are looking, like when we start getting back out there again, we are looking for skateboards to give them, which is really awesome. Like, you know, we put them together and we get to give them to them. It means a lot. And that's also bringing our community together, you know, from across Canada. And I've set up a GoFundMe because we honestly can't do this without you guys. As you know, like, we don't get paid to do this work. We're out there on our own time, and like, I wouldn't have it any other way, you know, like, this is very passionate to me. So that keeps us going. And we are doing an art show, one of our first art shows, fundraisers, silent auction. So we're bringing Indigenous art, skateboarding, and music together. And that's going to be December 11th to the 20th in Vancouver. We plan to do this all online, so people who can't make it can see what we're doing, and going live with the artists that have contributed, because like the same thing, we couldn't have done this art show without them taking the time. So it's very exciting who we have on the list. Yeah.
And so can people access that GoFundMe and more information about the art show just through the Instagram? Do you guys have a website as well, or what is like
Yes.
the best way to like be updated?
Well, we are doing, we have Instagram right now, and that's where we're posting a lot of our stuff. We have a Facebook page that will have the information on there. We have a YouTube page, and that's where we're all planning to go live from. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Well, thank you so much, Rosie. I'm so happy to just see your face. I'm sure
Very welcome.
Super thankful that you're sharing your story and you're sharing the mission of Nation Skate Youth, and I am so excited to see where it goes. And so hopefully I get to skate with you and boogie down with you in the future. I'll come up north. I'm only 6 hours away.
Yes, please.
Yes.
I know, or I'll go there.
Yes, we'll meet in the middle, and then we'll meet in the middle in Seattle, and then we'll have Kristen and Alexa there, and then we'll fly Kim in. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Rosie.
Very welcome.
Hey everyone, it's Lindsay. I'm back with some questions. So my first question that we pulled from the chat is from TAR_MAC, and the question is actually for Ryan. So he asks, I'm located in Phoenix. How can I get involved with SAS, your organization?
So the best way to get involved with us is to sign up on our website, skateafterschool.org, and there's a volunteer tab. And if you fill out that email, we'll get back to you. Obviously, things are a little strange right now because we're, in the middle of a pandemic. But we'll respond to you, and we're hoping to resume programming, assuming everything goes well in January. So yeah, just reach out to us there. And I'll drop the link in the chat too.
Cool. Our next question is actually for Lindsay. It's from the Tethered 4. How do you deal with bullying by people who don't accept LGBT rights and people?
Oh, wow. I did not know I was going to have a question. So let's see. How do I deal with bullying by people who don't accept LGBTQ rights? So honestly, when it comes to bullying, I'd rather educate or ignore if it's really harsh. So I like to educate, and honestly, I'm all about positivity. I don't let any negativity in. If you let negativity and toxic into your life, you are not going to get as far as you want. So I think that's the best way to answer that question. And feel free, if anyone's bullying you, to hit me up anytime. It's Lindsay Schaefer on all platforms. Please hit me up. I would love to help you out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Ruben. I saw that we did have another question for Alexa, and it's from 21 Trumpets. So let's see. What inspired you to keep skateboarding when most skaters were male or didn't look like you?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I had actually at the time kind of decided to stop skateboarding because I felt outside of my community, but I had a close friend of mine who wanted me to teach her how to skate. And I was like, yeah, of course, like I'll teach you one-on-one. And she was really interested in an event that we had found out about. And she was like, there's this women in trans session. We should go check it out. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And then we went there and I was able to discover like a beautiful community. And it was a really empowering moment just because I was like, well, I don't have to stop skating. And honestly, I shouldn't. Like, I deserve to be a part of the things that I enjoy. And there's a whole community out there of people that are like me. So I felt really elevated by the people close to me in my introduction to that new community.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
There's actually another question this question is for Kim. Is there any adaptive skate equipment for kids with disabilities?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I love this question. I just got word from Deluxe, Ashley Rayfield, who is one of our friends and is the marketing manager, that Real Skateboards is working on adding Braille to their boards for people who are blind. And I believe that's going to be across all their decks. Not sure exactly when, but I'm sure they'll drop it on Instagram. And that's so, skaters can tell the difference between the nose and the tail. And I just thought that was really cool. Something else that we're working on at Skate Like a Girl is, because we're virtual right now, and even before we went virtual, we're definitely working on making sure that folks that are deaf or hard of hearing can access our programs, our instruction. And how we're doing that is bringing on a translator to just basically translate all the instruction that's coming from, our coaches, so that folks can watch and read along and practice, learning to skate or working on new tricks. So that's something we're excited about. And thanks to the beauty of technology, we're able to do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I see in the chat, we do have a question for Rosie. So Rosie, you have a question from Brenda Rodriguez, 5123. What are things that keep you going when things get really hard?
I come back to my community. I've gotten back into my culture in the last, it's always been a connection, but yeah, burning sage in the morning, meditating, going to the sweat lodge, and just kind of grounding myself, listening to advice from my elders, being true to who I am, and putting it out there, give the love, and tough times happen, and accepting, but spiritual, and just keeping that pure.
Cool. The next question that we have is for Kristen, Ryan, and Rosie. Kristen, we'll start with you. This question's from Skate Germ. Can you guys share any stories or proud moments from your experiences with Skate Like a Girl, Skate After School, and Nation Skate? Obviously, your individual organization.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I would say, like, I can't think of one specific proud moment, but I think my favorite thing that I see happening, actually, I'll share two kind of things that I see at Skate Like a Girl quite a lot. One thing is like watching young people or young at heart folks taking on leadership that like nobody asked them to do it. So like what that looks like is like I'll be at like a women in trans session, and then like after the lessons are over, I'll see like our instructors just helping somebody just because they needed help, or I'll see people that learned to skate like 3 weeks ago. Now they're like, helping somebody else learn to drop in or ollie or whatever. And just that like kind of natural community and support. Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing. And then the other thing is just randomly being at a Skate Like a Girl program and just all of a sudden hearing this like huge uproar of excitement, and you'll turn your head and it's like, oh shoot, that person just learned to ollie, or oh shoot, that person just learned to drop in. And it's like this collective excitement for other people, and it's non-competitive, it's just celebratory. And like I think that's just what makes me proud, is just that we've built this culture that's not competitive, it's non-toxic, it's just supportive and like rooted in love. And I think that just what makes me feel really proud.
That's awesome. What about you, Ryan? What about Skate After School?
Yeah, I think that the standard thing to say is that, yeah, seeing kids take on leadership positions is really great. I'm reminded of this kid in our program, Alejandro, who started with us in 3rd grade, having never skated ever, and watched him, he really push himself. Like it took him like 2 years to ollie, and now he is in 9th or maybe 10th grade. And he volunteers with us, and he's a full-blown skater, and he's always pushing himself and always has a really good attitude. And we don't even have a formal kind of program for him to come in and volunteer. And he just wants to help out because he knows it's the right thing for him to do. And so that's been, it's been really great to see him grow over the years.
Same question, Rosie.
It would be the kids doing an ollie after showing them twice or like, when they're like, Mom, watch me do it, and like the mom is going, oh my God, like, because they're a little bit worried too. They're like, he's never skateboarded before. So I mean, teaching them something new it makes me so proud.
That's definitely something to be proud of. Let's ask another question to Kristen. So this one's from Denny Z. Will you expand the Like a Girl community to other sports or hobbies? Also, what goals are you planning or what want to accomplish for Skate Like a Girl in 2021?
Awesome. Thanks for the question, Denny Z_F. Yeah, so I guess the answer is I don't know. It kind of depends on who is a part of our organization and who's a part of our community. Like, I'll give a small anecdote. Like we used to only do stuff for little girls. That was like all we did in the beginning when I started as like a 17-year-old teenager. Only did stuff for little girls. And what we started seeing was like brothers or like other siblings or parents were showing up, or teenage boys randomly at the skate park wanting to help. And we kind of scratched our heads and we're like, well, all these other people are showing up. Do we want to expand on what we're doing? And we kind of naturally did, because the concept was like, what's not radical about me, like as a woman, like teaching a little boy how to learn how to skate? Like that's also flipping the script on gender roles and who can participate in skating and how we participate in skating. And so that kind of led us to expanding. Same thing happened with our women in trans sessions. We used to call them ladies night, and we really wanted to like intentionally be inclusive of trans people and explicitly say that. And so we changed the name, and lo and behold, we have tons more gender expansive and trans folks like a part of our community. So I guess my short answer is that it just depends on who's a part of our community. So if folks want to see that happen, you know, in their city or whatever, like just start doing the work and we'll connect at some point. As far as 2021, I think 2021 honestly is going to be like sort of still like just trying to survive COVID mode, because we were hit really hard this year, financially and in a lot of other ways, like not being able to do our work. So I think 2021 is just going to be about like maintaining and getting back to normal, and reopening. But I think for like 2022 and beyond, I really want us to have our own private space to host programming, because that is really the X factor for us getting our community together and building this culture we want to create. We really have to have our own space. And so that's probably like goal number one for after we get that past this COVID business.
I think that means you guys all got to start donating so they can get them that space. The next question we have is actually for Alexa. Alexa, what advancements have you seen in the acceptance of the trans community?
I think the advancements of the trans community that I've seen have really just been, I can say, like accounted to from like queers taking up space in skateboarding just like on their own accord, and just having that mentality of like, we're here and we might be pushed outside of like what traditional skateboarding has looked like, but regardless, like we're here together and we're still doing that. So like you can either resent us for being here and ruining skateboarding, or you can just accept that we're going to be here. And I think that like a lot of the people putting in that footwork is just like unity and there, and just like being able to see them put in so much of the work to elevate trans people, I think is what ultimately shifted that idea of like, oh, queers don't skate. And it's like, that's not true. We were just never allowed in, but there have been people making a lot of headspace, and I think that's really awesome. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for answering these questions. Before we wrap it up, can each of you tell us again how we can support your organizations on Giving Tuesday, which is December 1st? So Kristen, let's start with you.
All right, what's up, y'all? Real quick, you can just cruise to skatelikeagirl.com/Giving Tuesday. That'll give you all the info that you need on how to donate and what all the cool incentives are to give on Giving Tuesday. Any donation of $25 or more is going to get matched, and any donation of $500 is going to get tripled. We also have certain time windows where if you donate, you could potentially win our drawing, featuring some awesome prizes from some of our sponsors, as well as some like cool gear you can get depending on what level that you give at. So again, just check out skatelikeagirl.com/Giving Tuesday. It'll have all that info. And if anything, just follow us on social media at skatelikeagirl. You'll also find how to support us on December 1st there as well.
Great. Thank you, Kristen. Ryan, what about Skate After School?
The best way to support us, like I said earlier, is just check out our website, skateafterschool.org, or message us on @skateafterschool. After doing this, though, I'm kind of thinking we might need to set up a Twitch stream, and maybe Kristen, that's and for other people in the group, maybe we set something up on our own to do this because this is pretty fun.
Awesome. So we might see Ryan on Twitch in the future, which is great.
Yeah, I've been chatting.
Well, we look forward to it. So Rosie, how can we support Nation Skate Youth?
I would be honored if you guys would check out our Instagram page and our Facebook page. The special link in the bio, and yeah, leave us a DM. Let us know what you guys think. Thank you.
Cool. I think you guys should navigate to some of those pages and start checking them out. But thanks again for everybody joining us today. I want to thank Kristen, Kim, Alexa, Seema, Ryan, and Rosie for taking the time to talk with us and sharing your inspiring stories. Congratulations again to our prize pack winners. We'll be in touch with Whispers shortly. And if you haven't already, don't leave the stream if you guys haven't heard from Zoomies yet.
Awesome. So one more thing for everyone watching in Georgia, I know we're fresh off the 2020 presidential election and the recount just wrapped up, but we've got two important elections coming up that will decide who controls the Senate. Get registered to vote by December 7th. And hey, if you're 17 but will turn 18 before January 5th, guess what? You can actually get registered to vote in this election. So don't wait around and head to Rock the Vote. Early voting starts December 14th, and the last day to vote in the special runoff election is January 5th. Keep standing up, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Yeah, I ain't worried about the problems, cause I'm always out here trying to get the dollars. Yeah, a nigga had radio bitches, now I'm out getting radio listens. Conversation with radio bitches, the one from the pistol with radio wishes. Yeah, I cannot believe the things that I seen. Yeah, smoking mirrors every time I see them, only thing is to see. Yeah, but they can't deceive me, they can't deceive me. I'm fighting demons right under the secrets. They cannot see me, they cannot beat me. Yeah, I tried to tell them and they couldn't see me. They couldn't hear me, now they finna hear me. Push out the whip, get gone. Yeah, sipping on coke and Patron. Yeah, smoking one blunt to the dawn. Yeah, freaking black and mild on the rod. Yeah, bad bitch with me, I'm gone. Yeah, Charlotte finna get off gone. Yeah, already know we on raw. Yeah, walk it till I fall. Money in my mind, no flash. Money in my mind, no flash. Yeah, a nigga had radio vision. A nigga had radio vision. I think they feelin' it. Yeah, they hate the way that I'm nigga killing it. Still relentless. Yeah, see what's up, how you feeling? Yeah.